Dangerous Freedom, what's going on, brother? Yeah, I heard. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't inform us that hoarders would be shot on sight. Killer Whale, what's going on? I'm surprised they didn't inform us that. So, dangerous. We're on lockdown, man. 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes. It has been one heck of a day getting ready to shut myself in for 21 days. So, dangerous. Did you get everything done you needed to get done today? I know you got a busy work week in the morning. Killer Will, where are you from? Are you guys on shelter in place orders? Well, I ventured out to the wow, Thursday, huh? Well, I ventured out today. I uh, I went to Home Depot. I went to Kroger's. I went to CVS, and that was it for today. Um, as most of you know, okay, St. Louis. Yeah, it seems we're going to be dealing with a nationwide shelter in place order here shortly. I went out, I bought a wheelbarrow. One of the things I thought I might need. I'll let you guys use your imagination as to what that wheelbarrow might be used for. Um, Topped off any last minute supplies. Um, I'll tell you, there was a eerie quiet today while I was out and about. I mean, most of the time while I was driving and I would look over at people, they would not even make eye contact. I did notice when I was out at Home Depot and Kroger's, no one, not one person was wearing gloves, a mask. Hey, redneck renegade, brother. It's as good as it could be. Uh, 1 minute and I will be under shelter in place orders up here in Michigan. But it's almost as if nobody even believes that there is a sickness going around. I mean, no masks, no gloves, no 6 foot rule. There was uh, there was none of that going on today, and even the coughers were out and about. Hey, six string gunner, what's going on, brother? I hope everybody's ready for this because odds are it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. Um, just to give everybody an update on the situation of grocery stores around here, uh, nothing's changed. Um, None of the inventory has been replaced. The milk is still unavailable. Eggs, flour, sugar, canned goods. Um, I listened to our governor today comment about how the grocery stores would still be open and the pharmacies would still be open. And I started to wonder, does she really know that whether they're open or not, there's nothing in them? Now, she claims to have information that the supply chain is unaffected and there's plenty of supplies for everyone. But me and the 100 plus people I ran into today did not feel that way. Um, I wouldn't say there was a sense of panic from other people that were shoppers, but when I made conversation with the store owners, asked them if they'd be open tomorrow, what their hours would be, if anything, they were really unsure as to what was happening. Most of them replied, "We haven't heard from corporate yet." Um, Six string gunner, that's a good purchase. Gun oil never goes bad. Meat and cheese were gone. Bread and milk, no spicy chicken patties. It truly is Teowaki. Of course, no toilet paper, no paper towels, no um, facial tissues, Kleenex, any of that stuff. Well, even though after the press conference today, Redneck Renegade, where Trump's cohorts claimed that we are basically the problem. I don't need to do any grocery shopping. My grocery shopping trips for the last 2 weeks have been strictly reconnaissance. I love sourdough bread. Wow, Tigger. Um, where is that water back on the shelf at? What state is that? If you don't mind sharing with us. There was no at Home Depot. There was no charcoal. Um, I was surprised to see. Yeah, Redneck Renegade. I saw you guys got your order a little bit before us. Rock of Ages. What's going on? It's uh it's definitely going to be a country changer. I don't want to admit that that I have been expecting it for a long time. Mark 18, what's going on? Oh, the big D is feeling awfully small right now. Okay, Tigger. Illinois, that's better than I heard from man. I'm sure water availability is spotty at best around most large cities. Probably the smaller towns and stores and mom and pop places have a better chance. But I can assure you that there was not one bottle of water to be had at any price at Kroger's in Michigan. Um, like I was mentioning, the biggest thing that shocked me is at Home Depot, the seed section for plants and vegetables and everything was completely wiped out. Um, Yes, Tigger, I do have a bunch of ammo boxes I use to make my charcoal in. So I'm ready to go on charcoal, but I got to tell you, we got a lot of silver maple trees around here, and any meat cooked over a silver maple fire tastes just as delicious as charcoal. Dangerous Freedom, I'm glad you still got water, man. ET Prepping, what's going on, man? It's good to see you. So I'm not Josie Wales. What's going on, brother? Well, it's good to hear, Josie. That's not the case here in Michigan. Um, I think our cases right now is 1,035 confirmed. Um, One of the scariest things right now is that the Detroit Police Department has confirmed cases, and they've actually quarantined 198 officers. I don't know what that's going to do to our force, but 200 missing right now. I almost think the news reporters may have done our city an injustice by alerting the criminals to the shortage. Hey, hey, Pennsylvania Prepper, what's going on? ET Prepping, when did you go into your hunker down? All right. Six String Gunner, we both went into our lockdowns together at about 7 minutes ago. Unless you're talking about your lockdown starts Tuesday night. Now, one of the other things I've noticed is patrols in my neighborhood. Now, you could go a day and not see a police car. You could go a week and not see a police car on your street. Since the 6th of this month, patrols have been every 20 minutes. I see a police officer drive down my street every 20 minutes now. And they're not zooming by going somewhere. They're slow rolling, doing a lot of looking. And I got to tell you, if anybody here knows about the city of Detroit, police officers are very scarce. And to see more than one a day, most days is a miracle. Okay, ET Prepping, it's official. I don't know, Mark 18. I would hate to say this, and I would hate for somebody to take this the wrong way, but I'm not sure the police are that smart. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if, in some of their minds, this is the situation they've been waiting for to overly exercise the rule of law. Um, I hope I'm wrong, but I have just one of those funny feelings. Six String Gunner, I'm glad you brought up cigarette shops. I went in today. I roll my own tobacco or roll my own cigarettes. I went in and purchased 60 pounds of tobacco, processed, ready to go. Um, I purchased 100 cartons of tubes. I hope I'll be able to make it a year until a crop comes in. But there were no pre-rolled cigarettes on the shelves. Marlboros, Lucky Strikes, Newports, Cools, Winstons, Benson and Hedges. There were none on the shelf, none in the back, and even some of the more gross cigarette brands. I don't even know their name. True or just any tobacco product up to and including generic cigars were gone. I like that Tigger police officers are like leprechauns in Detroit. Wow, Pennsylvania, 2 more weeks. We have all but canceled the rest of the school year here in Michigan. It has not been handed down officially, but I don't see how we can avoid it. Um, Short of New York and California, if I'm not mistaken, we have the third highest amount of Corvid 799, whatever it is, virus cases in Michigan. And Pennsylvania Prepper, that's an excellent point. I have been purchasing tobacco seeds and attempting to grow tobacco now for about 5 years. I've had tremendous success some years. I've had less than tremendous success most years. Um, the growing it is not the hardest part. It's the curing, fermenting, and then processing it for consumption. Um, I have it. I don't know what I'll be able to do with it. We're not really in a climate conducive to growing tobacco, but tell you what, if I roll through 60 pounds of tobacco, I probably won't want to smoke any more cigarettes for a while. ET prepping, that's awesome, man. 10 years, huh? You saved a lot of money and a lot of headaches. Pennsylvania, you too, you're done with the smoking? I would barter my tobacco products, but I'd probably only barter them to myself. um, some of the other things that are going on right now, um, I'm sure everybody can tell I have a strange sound to my voice. I had oral surgery today, and it had been scheduled for a couple of months now, and the dentist tried to cancel with me, stating that she was nervous and her husband was nervous about doing surgeries right now when we're in the state of emergency in Michigan. Um, Nervous that they would lose their dental license or license to practice dentistry, and it's I'm not gonna lie, it's just downright scary, man. I have personally never gone through a shutdown of this magnitude, and no matter what they say about it being not quite as bad as the flu, it's surely making things a lot worse than the flu have ever been. Lone Star, brother, what's going on? Well, I got to be honest with you, Lone Star. I didn't get much sleep since then, but um, I try to get my 3 to 4 to make sure I am somewhat rested in this crazy situation we find ourselves in. ET prep, and I do enjoy cigars. I'm a Macanudo man. Macanudo man. Um, I do inhale though. Rock of Ages. I have yet to even try to quit smoking. I'm sure that would be my fate. they uh, they do something for me that no other drug can do. Pennsylvania Prepper. I had a friend that I believe stopped smoking with Chantix, and the stories he told, the waking in the middle of the night and acting out his dreams was it was scary. Well, ET prepping. Um, I actually had all of my adult teeth. I had small chips to them, nothing that required a root canal or anything like that. And one of my plans was to remove my teeth and have implants installed just because of situations like that. I'll tell you what, I don't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere with an infected tooth and on my deathbed. So as my final prep, I I had 28 teeth extracted today, and I will be getting implants in 6 weeks if we're all still here. Pennsylvania Prepper, I do not think he was still smoking while he was on Chantix. I don't think so. ET prepping sleepwalks like crazy. Yeah, it is pretty scary. Lone Star, I I couldn't be more pissed at the Democrats right now. Um, it's like I've said for the last 2 years. Anytime a bill takes more than one or two sheets of paper, it's bullshit. And we all know that's what they do, man. They throw their little you got to give me this if I give you that, back and forth, and it's not about the people. It's about their interests and making sure that all their interests are in. I mean, you see, they had no problem passing the first two bills to bail out the airlines and the banks and everybody else. They had no problem getting that stuff approved. But now that we need help, or some of us need help, or all of us need help, however you want to look at it, there's all kinds of problems now. And we'll always be the ones to suffer. Well, Lone Star, I gotta say or Dangerous Freedom, I gotta say that the right ain't far behind them to me. Tigger, you're absolutely right. We need to hit them right over the fucking head with the playbook. Well, in Michigan, homeschooling is a very common thing. Um, I don't want to start quoting statistics that I have no idea of, but I personally know several families that homeschool their children. Um, Mark 18, they don't need. any catalyst to start their massive overreaching. They've been doing it since the day I was born, and I don't think they're getting any softer with their paw they're reaching out there. You might be onto something there, Lone Star. They might be trying to implement the Green New Deal without being blamed for it. Well, I'll tell you what, E.T. Prep and Dangerous Freedom. Um, I watch a lot of C-SPAN. Um, I probably watch 10 hours a day, and I've probably done that for the last 18 months. And I almost want to make it mandatory for everyone who claims to be a prepper to watch a week's worth of C-SPAN when they hold House hearings, because I have never seen a bigger group of criminals in one room breaking the law. It's a shit show, and the 110, 120 true patriots we do have in the House are pretty much standing up and saying, we need help, send help. We're being outvoted left and right, and until we start sending our representatives to the House of Representatives, we'll be doing what we're doing right now, suffering under their tyrannical overreach. One of the biggest things I think we need in all of our elected positions are term limits. It's not a job, it's a duty that all American citizens have the obligation to participate in. And there will be no excuse for languages today, ladies and gentlemen. Second Amendment, First Amendment, Third, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, Eighth, Ninth, and 10th. I think you're right, Mark 18. Um, we went from. Oh, and I'm sorry, I'll get right back to you, Mark Tigger. In Michigan, they do not give vouchers for homeschooling. But back to you, Mark 18. In the past 2 weeks, we went from everything's under control, no big deal, hey, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here, keep it moving, to this is bad. We might be in a recession. We're probably in a recession. It's probably going to be June. What do you say? July, August. We'll be dealing with this. I mean, they can't even keep their messaging straight. If they have a script, they need to fire the person writing these scripts. I know you're right, Lone Star. Um, and I'm not a doctor or anything, but I may be so bold as to say it's not your son that's dyslexic. It's the fucking idiots teaching them that are dyslexic. You said it, Tigger. If you understand what's going on in this world, this country even, it's about as infuriating as you can get. Mark, I think term limits would fix more than half of our problems. 2 terms. 2 terms, that's it. Whatever a term is, you do two of them, and then you go back home, or you proceed higher within the government, but you don't make a career out of it. Which one, Dangerous Freedom? Nice, six string gunner. I definitely intend to homeschool my son. Um, I will allow him to go to high school. I think that's about the appropriate age to send your kids out into the world. Let them see what they're going to be in for. Tigger, they'll never let us be right, man. We should get a voucher just for saying we want to homeschool our kids, but why give us back our money when they've already taken it? No more apologies for swearing, Tigger. Free speech. Absolutely, Lone Star. I mean, it was one of the first things I learned in our public school system is that when they offered President Washington kingship, dictator for life, he was a honorable enough man to know that everything we had just fought for would be destroyed with that one decision. I I can't even imagine what our founding fathers are thinking right now. I mean, are they laughing at us? I mean, it's probably some of the most ridiculous problems we have in this country. Um, it, you know, I've made plenty of videos talking about the average person probably pays 40-50% of their income in taxes, fees, licenses, insurance, and it's not enough. It'll never be enough. If they took all of our money, it won't be enough because it's easy for me to go into my mom's purse, pull her wallet out, and spend all her money with no regard for what bills she has to pay, what food she's going to need to purchase. It's kind of the same with the government. I mean, you got a bunch of children, selfish assholes that think they know best because their whole life somebody told them they knew better. Dangerous Freedom, you're right, man. They are pissed at us, but what are they going to do about it is what I'm concerned of. You said it, Mark 18. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, I've kind of been afraid to throw this out there, but what the hell? How many people do you think are going to respect and follow these mandatory quarantines? I mean, I've been watching news stories all day of house parties in Illinois being broken up. Uh, what do they have? A gay wedding on the streets of New York. Beaches full for spring break. Venice Beach. Uh, Venice Boardwalk? Venice Boardwalk, I believe. Um, could not be shut down. Only the parking lots closed off. So everybody needs to shelter in place, but everything's open. it's it's a joke. We're doing all we're just no, not we. They are destroying our economy, our livelihoods, and they don't give a damn because those Senate checks come regardless. Those federal checks will be in the mail no matter what they're doing, what the situation is. Mark 18, I hear you, I hear you, Dangerous Freedom. Hey, this is all I know. Whether it's real or not, whether each and every one of us decide to obey it or not, they are going to punish who they decide to punish in all of this. And they're going to blame 17-year-old kids on the beach, people in Illinois having house parties. None of this will ever be their fault. and, and then they're going to expect us to celebrate when we make it through this, if we make it through this. ET, I don't know anybody myself personally that has passed away from this. Um, but you know the rhetoric's been getting ramped up. I mean, you know, New York's governor, he had a nice speech today about how this is not a suggestion. Um, I think California as well has begun to threaten to enforce the quarantine. Wow, Lone Star, what gave you that feeling today? Well, Rock of Ages, look at the rich. Nowhere to be found, right? Or even better yet, sick with the virus, so they're quarantined and out of the spotlight. Um, I don't know what the virus is, if there is a virus. Um, the bottom line is, for all of us in this chat, for all of us in this community, they've done the one thing they could do to try to destroy us. They've taken away our livelihoods. Um, it, it's a nightmare right now. I mean, we live in a country that is based on a service economy. Now, You get rid of 80% of the service economy, you've gotten rid of 70% of the employment in America. Jim Beer, how are you tonight? Um, I don't think we'll ever know what's really going on. ET prepping, I'll tell you what, I hear stuff in my bedroom every night, and I think it's just the fact that I live in a 130-year-old house. At least that's what the cameras show me, because I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary, but boy, oh boy, have I been hearing something. Oh, yeah, look at that. Mark 18, you see them all standing around, 2 feet shoulder to shoulder, shaking hands, high fiving. It's uh, it's it's suspicious at best. I mean, how could something be so deadly and so virulent? And they got, I don't know, 30 press reporters in a room that obviously interact with the community all day, every day. Um, some of our most important politicians in that same room. I mean, you're telling me it's a good idea to have the president and the vice president in the same location at this point, breathing the same air, getting the same whatever this is. Now we got Rand Paul confirmed to have coronavirus. I mean, how many uh, how many representatives in the House will suffer the same fate? How many senators will suffer the same fate? ET prepping, you're gonna have to hire you a security force. Lone Star, I haven't seen the list, but I watched a video earlier about all the major CEOs resigning since the bug started, and even some of them resigning before the bug started. ET prepping, you might be right. It could be ghosts. I joke with my wife often. Um, I can't imagine how many people were born in this house and died in this house in its 130 years. Jim Beer, hopefully all of them, huh? That would be a continuity of government crisis. Exactly, ET prepping. Both of them sitting there, stupid looks on their faces. Dangerous freedom, those will be the only two assholes that don't get it. You gotta be human to get it, I think. It doesn't transfer to animals. I think you might be onto something there, Rock of Ages. Um, I made a video a few months ago about the big blackout we had in 2003, 2004, something like that. And, it made me think a lot about what would happen when the lights went out. Now, everybody's general agreement is that shit will hit the fan, shooting, fire, this, that, whatever. But when I think back to when that power went out, I didn't hear a gunshot in my neighborhood. I sat and barbecued for 4 days with all of my neighbors. Nobody even had the sense that something could be wrong. Um, and like in the video, I said, 85% of the people we'll be sitting around waiting for it to just come back on until they are dead. Well, I don't know, Tigger. It seems that even if you can make it to the hospital for treatment, there's a lot of death behind this virus. All right, Lone Star, I'll make sure I check that out. Exactly, Mark 18. That's right. That's why Pelosi will never get sick. This is a this is a dream for her. Absolutely, Tigger. I think every single representative, senator is a target. And how many of them have been successfully targeted? I think we're going to know here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I think a lot of us are going to be surprised. Exactly, Dangerous Freedom, man. They're the ones that should be walking around with the hazmat suits and the non-functioning N95 masks. I hope they're not ET prepping. She sure looks like she's a 126 string gunner. ET prepping, I think you might be onto something there. I don't think it's us that are uncivil. I think it's them and the news that encourage the uncivilized to act out. That's what happened, Tigger. Everybody came on down and brought what they had in their freezers after that second day of no power, and we actually got some information that power would possibly be out 3 to 4 more days after that second day. And for us, it was 6 days total we were out, I believe. Six or seven total. And I'll tell you, not a fight, disagreement, looting, story, robbery. Um, thank God it was in the middle of the winter. Or I'm sorry, thank God it was not in the middle of the winter. You might be onto something there, Rock of Ages. She could very well be on her fourth body right now. Yeah, Lone Star man. I mean, who's in charge of this shit, dude? And why are the two executives standing there shoulder to shoulder? It just doesn't make much sense. I mean, are they that stupid? I don't know, Dangerous Freedom. Uh, I've seen worse people in charge that didn't trigger a revolution. I mean, I don't know. Look at Obama. Look at Bill Clinton. Hell, look at George W. 6 string gunner. I'm working on a smoker myself right now in the backyard. I love smoked fish, and that is a project for this summer. I'll make sure to update everybody. Well, Rock of Ages, I'll tell you, I think everybody here has seen this coming. I mean, how could there be a different result when the actions are right there in front? We can see what they're doing, and none of us here are blind. None of us here are stupid. It's it's plain to see. ET prep, and it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. They should they should need to be on separate coasts from each other at this point. Jim Beer, I haven't seen anything in Michigan. My mother lives at Selfridge Air Force Base. Well, she doesn't live at it. She lives in the back of Selfridge Air Force Base. And she said for the last 2 days, she has heard a airplane or something. She's my mom. A airplane or something land every half hour on the half hour, and they haven't been letting up yet. ET prepping, you're right, man. Like I said, though everybody I interacted with today had panic in their eye, I didn't hear too many people taking this serious. Most of the comments I heard out loud of other people talking to each other were they'll be glad when this bullshit is over, and the biggest problem right now is all the people hoarding. I mean, it's the situation is so far over people's heads that when they wake up and realize what's going on, the marauders will be at their door. And that faith they have in the police and the National Guards and everybody else will be painful. Be painful for them to realize that no one's coming. And if they are coming, they're not coming fast enough. I don't know, Lone Star. I put them all in that same damn boat. They're all about as evil can be. Anybody that would make their career stealing, which is basically what they do. Um, yeah. What 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 more evil could there be? Yeah, Dangerous Freedom. I was talking earlier, man. I swear. I mean, it's. I haven't seen a person wearing a mask yet. All right, Mark 18. Seems like you're on to I'm sorry, not onto, but you're further ahead than most of the sheeple. I mean, I heard conversations on the 6th of this month. People on their cell phones calling home, literally in tears, saying, not only do we not have anything at home to eat, there is nothing in the store to buy. I mean, it's madness. And anybody that would have tried to tell them this a week before it happened would have been an idiot, would have been a fearmonger, would have been crazy. Hey, how are you? Just in time prepping? Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is going to be this is going to be an event to remember. Yeah, that's tough, Lone Star man. I mean, my wife's been off of work for 2 months because of the pregnancy, and then the day she's supposed to go back to work, her work shuts down. Well, I hope everybody is. It's good to see you too, just in time prepping. I hope you're feeling better, man. Yeah, there you go, Six String Gunner. We'll have stories for the grandkids if we make it. Um, and it's not the virus that concerns me. It's the man living next door that concerns me. It's the people I ran into in the grocery stores with the look of, how can this be happening? How could this be after all these years? All these things leading up to where we are today. All these unconstitutional gun grabs they've spread around from California all the way to New York. I mean, this has been the longest and slowest setup I've ever seen, and for people to still not understand what's going on just goes to show that for all of us that are awake, we're surrounded by the sleep. I hope so too, E.T. Prepping. I like it, Dangerous Freedom. All right, Rock of Ages, no activity out there. Well, ET prepping, that's probably the biggest concern any of us should have right now. I mean, it's not going to be Uncle Sam coming to your door to take your pot of beans and pan of bread. It's going to be the man 3 doors down that was on the phone with that woman saying, honey, there's no food at home. And she was saying, I know there's no food at home and there's none in the store. You said it, Will. We live in dangerous times. Um, all the people I've met here on YouTube in this community are more than capable, I believe, of handling what's about to happen, if anything. Um, I've been telling all my friends and family when they call and express their concern and ask for toilet paper and bullets and everything else I've been telling them to buy for the last 12 years. Don't worry about it, man. It'll probably be over by Thursday. And believe it or not, most of them look me in the face and say, "Oh, you think so? Okay." I mean, it's pretty senseless what's going on right now. Um, but as the prepared mind said, this is what we've been preparing for. Whether it happens or it doesn't happen, doesn't change anything any of us do in our day. And hopefully, enough people will be scared enough to do a little bit of prepping for themselves. I doubt it. I mean, what usually happens? Everybody gets all bent out of shape, scared to death. The crisis passes, and the first thing out of their mouth is, "I told you nothing was going to happen. Oh, you bought all that water for nothing. Look at all that rice you got for nothing." You know? And the only answer I have for them is that, dude, I only got to be right one time, man. And I'm not going to take any chances. I'm not going to take any chances with my life, my child's life, and if I have to throw all this stuff in the garbage 30 years from now, so be it. I hear that, Dangerous Freedom. I spent some time on that a couple days ago myself. That's what it is, Rock of Ages. They're so comfortable, and all they want to do is get back to that comfort. Yeah, it's gone now. And you said it, Six String Gunner. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's a good way to sit, Mark 18. That is a good way to sit, brother. Well, I appreciate everybody stopping by the live chat. It's been a while since I've put out a video or done a live stream. I'd like to apologize. I cannot tell you how busy I have been since January got here. Um, no predictions here. Everything will be better Thursday. I'm going to stick with that. Um, what they can hope to gain, the powers that be can hope to gain from this, I am clueless at this point. But odds are it's going to backfire on them. Um, it usually does. It usually does. Well, you're true. That's true, Dangerous Freedom. We do go live every Saturday, but I think I'm going to be spending some more time myself going live here and putting out some more videos, keeping everybody updated with what's going on. I uh, I gotta imagine if something's going to happen, it's going to happen in Detroit. So, thanks again, everybody, for stopping by. God bless you. Be safe. And, yeah, Jim Beer, you know what? That was, the first Thursday was about a month ago. But, you know, it seems to shut down the conversation with people that really are unaware of what's going on. So, thanks again, everybody. Good to see everybody. Stay safe. And I'll see everyone soon.